This is a video to do an overview of the GS400 that's looking for a new owner. You can see the factory red paint, the rally, is it signal red or rally red? I can't remember what Buick calls it, but it is the original paint. It looks pretty good from 10 feet. Some of these areas I've touched up. This area right here was worn or dented at some point. I don't know. Somebody had scraped the paint away. You can see a difference in the color right here. The lower front fenders, I welded in patch panels and did the body work there to correct them. They were all rusted. However, the paint that I used just doesn't match perfectly. It is the correct GM code, but it's just slightly off. So that would probably need to be addressed, just to kind of clean it up a little bit. That nice stripe from the factory is still there, but you can see that there are areas where the paint's faded and chipped right there near the fender well, the rocker, and so on. There needs to be some paint work done on the car. These are 15x7s, which are not the originals. Obviously, they are in okay condition. This one is the worst of them all. It has, you can see, I've cleaned up the rust with some fine steel wool and polish, but it shows well from 10 feet. Wheel well moldings are all in really good shape. You can see the rust here on the lower rear quarter. I think this was previously patched because I see signs of some plastic there. That would all need to be redone with proper metal. All the trim around the roof is in really good shape. No problems there. The window moldings are all really nice. Trunk lid, that's the factory stripes still on the trunk lid. There is a spot right here, which you can see. I just actually mixed up some touch up and brushed this on because I didn't want to get any overspray in the rest of the area, but that would need to be addressed and probably wet sanded and blended in. So the rear bumper is in pretty good shape. There aren't many 68, 69s that you can find with straight bumpers. This one has one slight dent right here. So it's not perfect, but I mean, again, from like 10 feet, it's pretty nice. All the emblems are in good shape. This lower quarter, lower rear again, rusted. Wheels, these are new 245 60/15s. Have about 200 or 300 miles on them. All right. See, again, this is just paint that's flaked off. There's no rust right there. The rocker was rusted. I repaired the rocker from about here forward. I made that from just from raw sheet metal, and then again I welded in the patch panel here, and I can see here that even with this camera makes it even more obvious how different the paint is there. So that would need to be addressed. All right, so you can see here fender on the bullet holes. So since taking this video, the bullet holes have been repaired and the paint was matched with the correct color code, although you can see some difference. The 400 badging. I'll show you the roof. Several areas of flaking, cracking. It's the original lacquer. So again, 10, 20 feet, I'd call that more like a 20-footer. You know, it still has some shine to it, but it's the original. original antenna. This goes up and down. It's not power, but it is the original antenna. At the front here, the grill is cracked, which is a shame because this is a nice grill. And I noticed that the factory grills are straight. The aftermarkets will sag here and here, but this one was hit. They must have run into something here, hit the bumper. Didn't touch this. This looks pretty straight. There's nothing here, but then whatever it was impacted the hood right here. A little dent in this. There's no plastic there. It's just dented. So it's not perfect, but looks good. Again, 20-footer. Let me open the hood. Okay, got the hood open now. And this is the GS400 engine. So this engine is 10 1/4 compression, and it's rated 340 horsepower. Spent a lot of time, did a lot of work cleaning up this engine bay and repairing stuff under here. But you can see, I can go in all that detail later, but factory manifolds, everything is stock and original. One of the things I wanted to point out here too is, I don't know if you can see this, but the alignment shims still have the original rubber, it's like some kind of rubber cap on them. So this front end has never been realigned, never been touched from the factory. All original ball joints, all original A-arm bushings. And look over here, you can see here. See this? Focus on it. See the caps on the shims, the rubber. I'd never seen that before. Anyway, actually, it's amazing that the A-arm bushings are still intact, still in decent shape. The car steers perfect, handles well. It's just amazing. I had Oldsmobiles with the plastic inner fender wells, and it always seemed like going over bumps you would hear slapping, or you would hear some rattles and things. But this Buick is quiet. It goes over bumps and there's no noises, rattles whatsoever. Radiator's been replaced, new hoses, wires, power steering hoses, new master cylinder, new clutch rod boot, the wiper, that's the original wiper wash reservoir, new battery, well, relatively new battery, it's in pretty good shape. Factory regulator. I did replace the heater core and also put a new fan motor in it, blower fan motor. Up here, the cow had some issues. There was some holes. This was a squirrel nest. There were squirrel nests on both sides of this cow. That's all been fixed. This whole front clip was removed, and anything that was loose or wrong with it was repaired. New radiator core support bushings here, so there's no sag or rattles that way. And you can see that, look at these gaps. They're great. Straight, when I reinstalled these fenders and made sure I got the gaps straight, lines. And here's something, like, what A-body that's a 69 can you open the door and there's absolutely no door sag? I mean, it's kind of amazing. This car is in, it's a shame that it sat for so long and got rusty, because it is rusty underneath, and I'll show you that later.